manage a life-impacting change using a personal story. Please welcome our first speaker, Sojanya. Yay!
The year was 2014. Our young family of 3 was living happily in the quiet suburbs of Maryland. Everything was going pretty well. Both my husband and I had steady, high-paying jobs, and our little girl was happy and healthy. While our friends and family in the Bay Area were constantly complaining about relentless traffic and high living costs, none of that mattered to us. I worked from home, and my husband's work was just a block away. Everything was close by. We didn't know what commute was. We didn't know what getting stuck in traffic was. And everybody was complaining about high daycare costs as well. None of that mattered to us because I was having a perfect work-life balance, and I was able to take care of my daughter at home as well. This seems all golden. But then, I made a change. The change that splits the family, that separates us hundreds of miles, 823 miles to be exact. My daughter and I moved to Orlando, Florida, while my husband stayed back in Maryland. Going from zero commute to traveling 1,600 miles every single week. Why in the world would you do that? And most importantly, how did you manage that change? It's life impacting. It was hard. The cacophony was unbelievable. But we did it in phases, something I would like to call as the 4 C's approach. The first C, establish a change objective. Why the hell do you want to do that? Step 2 is to open a communication channel. We wanted to have an open dialogue and explore all our options. Step 3 is come to consensus. I'm a strong believer that if 2 people have brains, there is going to be a conflict. We want to manage the conflict and resolve and come to consensus. And step 4 is complete the change. So how did we go through with all these systemic phases that would have worked in a corporate world but not in a family? We managed that. So we started out with the first objective. Why are we planning to move 823 miles and live separately? So living in the suburbs of Maryland fit our short-term goals. We had a nice quiet family, the jobs were doing well, but what about the long-term solution? Both my parents and his aging parents were back in India. My husband being the only son, he had to frequently travel back to India. How are we supposed to manage just both of us here without him? So we decided it's time to make a change. If he's frequently traveling back to India, what do we do? Step 2, opening a communication channel. We started exploring our options. What options fit our both short-term and long-term needs? Well, we do have other family members here in the United States. Both his sisters live here, my brother lives here. What do we do? Or the other option is going back to India. So we had an open dialogue. We wanted to make sure both of us come to a consensus before we make a decision. So we weighed our options. We thought the daughter has a better opportunity here in the United States, so we didn't decide to go back to India. Now, all the siblings lived in different cities. One in Chicago, one in Orlando, and one in Pittsburgh. Where do we go? When there is sunny weather, why would anybody choose Chicago or Pittsburgh? And The sister who lives here has young kids as well, so my daughter can grow up together with them. And of course, the world famous attractions. My kid can grow up becoming a princess, imagining princesses. A lot of that. And we also found out that there's no state tax for Florida. Like in Washington DC and Maryland area, we had very high state taxes. So that's what I mean when I say coming to consensus by opening a dialogue. And phase 3. Okay, we decided on a place, but I was working from home, I could go anywhere. My daughter didn't start school yet, so she can begin anywhere. But how about my husband? He's not ready to give up his very well, high-paying, established job that he had been doing for 14 years at that time. That's when the option of traveling came up. So we looked up the airfares, how do we manage traveling every Friday to Orlando and every Monday to Baltimore. It was expensive, but whenever he had to go to India sometimes for months together, we were still with family. We were not all alone. So that seemed a viable option for our long-term solution. And then step 4, completing the change. I know it's hard. Sometimes it gets crazy because what happens when you are on an incident bridge all night, I know people who are in IT can vouch for this. You just pick up the call and it doesn't go down until the incident is resolved. And who's going to take care of the little one? And what happens when you're sick? You're all by yourself. Who's going to take care of that? But now that we made a decision collectively, we just stick to it. You know, they say when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And because we followed the 4 C's approach, we established a change objective, we opened a communication channel, we came to consensus, and then we completed the change. We were able to stick to it. This is his 5th year traveling, we're still going strong. What is that one change that you have been sitting on? Thank you. Thank you.